Failure does not have to be the end of something. Failure is it's just the beginning. Go to that next level, gear up. You've got a whole nother gear, I tell people all the time. You've got another gear you don't even know about, but I see it in you. What do you see? Another great day to everybody out there. Once again, this is Jason Wabick, host of the Uncheck the Box podcast, where today we do continue our journey together in the quest of being the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be. Back behind the mic with a jammin' new intro. I love it, right? What do you see in yourself? Doesn't matter what I guess it does matter what people see in you. But ultimately, what really does matter is what do you see in yourself? Are we seeing ourselves with the ability to push ourselves, right? I always use this analogy. You know, we can embrace the uncomfortable or not, and it's like going up to a tunnel that's completely dark. You know, somebody like myself or anybody that inspires you can lead you up to that tunnel, the darkness, if you will, but they can't metaphorically push you into it. We each and every single one of us have to take that step ourselves. We cannot be pushed into it. And when we take our first couple steps into that darkness, sure, it's a little bit unnerving. Sure, it's a little scary. But as we maneuver, we enter, and we keep leaning in and walking forward, pushing forward, that light definitely does appear at the other side. And when we come out to that other side, we hopefully are a better version of ourselves than when we walked in, but we have to walk in. Well, actually, we technically don't have to. But if we desire to get better and grow and progress as a human being, then it's in our best interest, everybody, right? So, hey, listen, it's been a little bit. You know, I was inspired by some people out there. I like to say that, you know, there's some accountability out there, which I love. The accountability came my way. They're like, hey, haven't heard an episode in a while. And, you know, life does get in the way of everything, right? Especially we all navigate life a little bit differently, have different factors at play, kids and work and this and that and the other. We have good days, bad days. Moments and chapters in life are great. Other chapters maybe not as great. And so we navigate that. Well, I'm back at it. And feeling good. I've prepared a nice little quick thing today. And it was inspired by a book I just got done reading. The name of the book is called Lighter by Yung Pueblo. And in there, one of the things I wrote down amongst many things was talking about energy. Right? And let me see what the line was. It says, treat energy as a precious resource. I loved just the meaning of that. So I'm not going to get too lost in the weeds on energy as a power source and, you know, what fuels us. But if we all look, I think we all know that we have energy. Some days we have higher energy. Some days we have lower energy. And there's factors that go into whether or not we have high energy and low energy and, you know, how active we are and what our diet is. That's not what this is about. But we all have energy, and I think we all would agree that when we wake up in the morning, it's probably our greatest, we probably have the greatest amount of energy that we do all day, right? So it's kind of like when we charge our phones. You know, some of us charge it overnight, right? So when we wake up in the morning, our phone is hopefully at 100%. If not, it's pretty darn close. We're not going to start our day at 3%. Because we'll barely get through our commute to work, right? So hopefully you have a charger in your car, right? So we start our day with a full battery. Well, much actually like a phone, the more apps you have open, the more time the screen is on, more screen time, right? It's going to take more energy. It's going to use more of your battery source. There's apps running in the background. There's apps running in the foreground, if that's such a word. And to some degree, life is the same way. We throw this word energy out there so loosely. We're so worried about conserving it that we're spending energy in so many ways that we actually have more control over than we know. And I wanted to review that today. Where and what we spend energy on, and how deep down it really is our choice. And I'm going to dare you all to follow some of these steps that I came up with. And I said dare because it's an acronym. So D stands for discipline or determination. A stands for awareness. R stands for ritual and remind. And then E stands for execute. So let's start with D, discipline and determination. This is a practice that requires our utmost attention. And another line from that book, it said, give yourself what you need and not what you crave. And this is a learned discipline that to some degree takes some time to implement. There's many cravings out there, things like our phones and social media and meaningless activities, activities that don't serve us, that we have the choice if and when we are going to engage in those. We have to realize, though, they will be a drain suck of time and energy. By the way, time is another resource that we can never get any more of or make more of, right? You might have to say no to certain things. In fact, learning how to say no is extremely liberating. Saying no becomes more common so you can focus on your time to achieve your highest goal. You must create this armor, if you will, and when you do, it gets easier over time. It will become second nature. We have to plan our days with priority in mind because our energy is a finite amount until our body needs rest to manufacture more. And that is the great part about this, right? That naturally we will make more energy, but oftentimes it's while we're sleeping, right? So this, again, literally starts with our determination that we are going to be different, and it means that we got to put in items of discipline, actions of discipline, and make sure that we attack the day with intention. Awareness. Be present, everybody. So many times, again, going back to these phones, our eyes are just so tuned into these devices that they basically take our brains with them. And our brains get sucked into all of these various different forms of stimuli that are out there. And it doesn't allow us to be in the moment and present. Listen to understand and not to respond. So when we're in a conversation with somebody, we're listening to try to understand their point of view, even if it's different than what you think and feel and believe. So many people listen, but their thought is taken over by how they're going to respond to it, that they don't even listen as to what that other person is feeling or thinking. I was talking with a coworker last week, and this coworker was feeling pretty sad. And so after listening, I was able to come up with somehow, some way, the words came to me. I was able to come up with the words that made this specific person feel much better. And it really touched my heart with the comments that this person had for me. But all I really did was I was present. I get to choose what I use my energy for. It's my choice. And you all have to say that to yourself. It is your choice to spend your energy for things that serve you and serve others, or things that don't serve you or certainly don't serve others. In that moment, I was present. I was mindful. I listened. And then I responded after processing. So being mindful is super important. The more you practice this along with discipline, the more obvious and easier your decision becomes. Have you ever been in a conversation with somebody you just know they're not plugged in? Their eyes are wandering everywhere and they're glancing down at their phone. Listen, again, we're all guilty of it, myself included. But the more you become mindful and present, you'll actually pick up on those little signs that you'll realize you're doing it. And that's when you start implementing discipline and you put that phone down. And that phone is face down. Happened to me, actually. I was having lunch with a former principal of mine. It was awesome. What a great day. And, I have an Apple Watch, right? And now I got to start turning those notifications off. A text message came through. Even though my phone was face down, it was a force of habit that I looked at my watch. And he goes, "Oh, is it time to go? Do you got to be somewhere?" Because that's the universal sign for, oh boy, time is running on. And then I proceeded to tell him kind of jokingly, I'm like, "Isn't that interesting?" No, it was a text message I was reading with these watches, but that action told him something different. So now that taught me that I've got to be more disciplined and determined to shut that thing down. So I'm even more present in that conversation. So awareness, right? R, ritual, remind. Every day, everybody, there is a form of ritual that goes along with this type of practice. It's something that we don't just do on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's not something that we just do on the weekends. It's not even something that we just do when we go to work and then we go home and then we just forget about this practice. Even though when we go home after work, our energy might be depleted. Even more reason to be aware and cognizant of our energy level, because whatever is left, we still, for some of us out there, still have more work to do. So it's something that we do every single day. And we can talk more about this in upcoming episodes. It's also sprinkled all over past episodes about how important having a morning routine is, how important having an evening routine is. But adding a little bit of ritual will help you in the quest of accomplishing your goals and being a better version of you. And then lastly, everybody, is execute. It is time to do the work. We're going to make mistakes, just like I shared with you. Right? That, not that I made a mistake purposely, but I realized, oh man, when I checked my watch and somebody took that a different way, I learned from that. I was aware, but now it's time to execute, realizing that our execution may not be what it ultimately we want it to be long term, but we got to start somewhere. Be kind and gentle to others, everybody. And similar emotions attract similar emotions. I'm telling you, I'm so passionate about this that I feel like if I breed positivity out there, it's going to breed more positivity. Again, I have good moments and bad moments. I have strong moments and I have weak moments. But when it's all said and done, I try to emit positivity in the world because I feel like then positivity will find me back. And I oftentimes started to wonder why people might gravitate towards me or want to maybe vent to me and lay things out there for me. And I had a tendency of thinking, it's like, you know what? It's probably because, through positivity, I make people feel welcome and accepted and comfortable. We all have that power, everybody. We can choose the positive or we can choose the negative. Which will you choose? It is up to us. And that negative will be a drain suck of our time and our energy. Talking about similar emotions will attract. Anger can attract anger. Love can attract love. There was this one time I was working with a colleague of mine, and I was really trying to emit positivity. And for whatever reason, maybe it was just what this person was going through at the moment, that day or in their life, they just weren't feeling it. And it was just more of the negative. And it's almost like the more positive I tried to admit, the more negative was being created. And I really felt it. It's palpable, right? So politely, I had to remove myself from that situation because I felt myself getting angry myself, right? More so angry about the situation because I just couldn't help. And I want to help. But at the end of the day, like we said, I can lead somebody up to the darkness. They have to be the ones to enter themselves. So I just am always aware about the vibes around me, and I try to be that beacon of positivity. The emotion you are expressing will often activate that same emotion in somebody else. You have the power and the ability to inspire that into other people. So going back to it, be that beacon of positivity. It's not only great for you, but it's great for other people, and you're serving them. And it really boils down to this saying right here. It's about saying no to human habit and yes to human nature. All of us have maybe bad habits, bad tendencies, and a lot of times our emotions are a byproduct of those habits. But deep down, our human nature says a different thing. So listen to both of those voices. Say no to human habit and yes to human nature. So everybody, that's my inspiration for the week. I dare you to apply this system to your life. And I promise you, through discipline, through awareness, through ritual, and through execution, you will not only enrich your life, but you will enrich others around you. And together, both working synergistically and existing harmoniously together, it's a beautiful thing. And again, the world's got enough hate. The world's got enough bad energy and negativity. So why not just be that beacon of hope to somebody who just might need it and you had no idea that you made a difference that day to that person. Everybody, I appreciate you hopping on. I appreciate you taking a couple minutes and just listening. I hope this helped. I make myself better every single time that I take to this mic, so I'm so glad. To all of my accountability friends out there, thanks for keep pushing. And for those that are listening, keep pushing me. Keep pushing me, because we all need that from time to time as life gets in the way. All right, everybody. Thanks again for everything. We'll see you back here next week, same time, same place. Much love. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.